There is a phenomenon many men experience but struggle to explain. The less a man speaks, the more deeply mature women often attach. The attachment is not casual or superficial. They think about him, replay interactions, and consider what he feels and thinks. They find it difficult to forget him. This dynamic is not rooted in manufactured mystery, dating tactics, or manipulation. It reflects something more fundamental. Mature women do not respond to the same signals as younger women. A mature woman has lived through relationships, disappointment, and rebuilding. She has encountered men who spoke at length but felt empty, men who were emotionally intense yet unstable, and men who promised connection but created disorder. Over time, experience conditions her responses. She learns to distrust excessive words, to detect emotional agitation, and to recognize that constant reassurance can signal insecurity. In this context, silence takes on a different meaning, not awkward or avoidant silence, but contained silence. The silence of a man who does not attempt to prove himself, who does not sell his worth, who speaks with precision and does not rush to fill space. He does not overexpose his inner world. This form of restraint communicates stability. It signals that he is centered and not emotionally dependent. For a mature woman, that signal is uncommon. Many men grow more anxious with age rather than calmer. They explain more, reassure more, and speak more out of fear of loss or replacement. A restrained man conveys the opposite. He projects emotional self-sufficiency. In mature attachment, attraction often begins not with excitement, but with regulation. A grounded, quiet presence does not create urgency or emotional tension. It creates space. Within that space, the nervous system can settle. Mature women often live with emotional vigilance. They have learned to anticipate conflict and manage volatility. With unstable partners, they contain themselves. With overly expressive partners, they filter. With anxious partners, they reassure. With a centered and restrained man, they can rest. That sense of rest can become compelling because the pursuit of adrenaline has been replaced by a preference for safety combined with tension. Composed silence creates that balance. Silence also creates an interpretive gap. When a man speaks less, he does not narrate his intentions or make himself fully legible. The absence of constant explanation invites interpretation. She begins to consider how he sees her and what she represents to him. This does not stem from concealment, but from the absence of performed intimacy. Drawing from memory and comparison, she evaluates how she feels around him. With men who spoke constantly, she often knew her standing yet felt drained or overwhelmed. With the restrained man, she does not feel unsafe, but she does not feel fully in control. That contained loss of control can become a source of fascination. He does not react immediately. He observes and responds deliberately. He is not driven by emotional fluctuation, nor does he adjust himself to secure approval. For a woman accustomed to managing relational dynamics, this posture alters the balance. Not because she is manipulated, but because the usual leverage is absent. He does not seek validation or rely on her to feel complete. Paradoxically, that independence can deepen attachment. Mature desire tends to move toward stability rather than dependence. Silence functions as a filter. It deters those who require control and attracts those capable of depth. The impact lies not in silence itself, but in what it indicates about internal structure. A restrained man demonstrates that he can remain without clinging, depart without drama, and be present without dissolving into the relationship. A mature woman is often no longer seeking someone who chooses her at any cost. She is attentive to someone who chooses himself and then chooses deliberately. What may follow is not overt obsession, but sustained mental focus. She reflects, analyzes, and revisits moments because the experience felt distinct and stable. That impression does not dissipate quickly. The dynamic is less about mystery than about position. He does not attempt to secure her, and he does not allow himself to be secured without intention. By this stage of life, a woman recognizes need even when it is subtle. She senses when a man looks to her for validation, emotional regulation, or relief from loneliness. Even when such men are sincere, the underlying demand can diminish desire over time. The restrained man does not approach with hunger. He does not lean or subtly pull. In the absence of overt pursuit, the focus shifts. The question becomes not whether he wants her, but whether she matters to him. Mature desire often centers on deliberate choice rather than pursuit. A restrained man communicates choice through conduct rather than declarations. He does not provide unlimited access or invest indiscriminately. His time carries weight. His attention has boundaries. His presence feels earned. This dynamic slows the pace of engagement. It interrupts familiar relational patterns. He is neither distant nor merging, neither cold nor overflowing, neither indifferent nor dependent. The ambiguity is contained rather than chaotic. Conversations and shared silences carry weight because they are not saturated with emotion. Experiences that are not forced tend to leave a deeper imprint. Another factor is the perception of rarity. A mature woman may view many men as predictable or easily replaced. A grounded, restrained man can appear less interchangeable because he does not rush, overinvest, or seek reassurance. The sense that he could leave without anger or collapse creates tension. He will not remain out of habit or tolerate prolonged ambiguity. Stability without possession carries value. When attachment forms, it is often internal. She may not articulate it, but she reflects on how he would respond in various situations. The imprint is calm rather than chaotic, and calm impressions endure. A restrained man creates contrast not through excess, but through precision. He does not fill silence to manage discomfort or speak to regulate anxiety. The capacity to hold silence reflects internal steadiness. For a mature woman, that steadiness signals grounding and self-containment. Desire, in this context, becomes quieter and more persistent. It does not demand immediate action, but invites reflection. In the presence of such a man, defenses can lower without a sense of invasion or pressure. The experience is one of being held without being confined. That balance is uncommon. Silence does not manufacture attachment. It reveals a capacity to connect with stability without dependence. Not all women respond to this dynamic. Some withdraw from silence because they seek reaction or control. Others perceive the absence of emotional consumption as strength. They recognize a man who does not use the relationship to fill emptiness or outsource emotional stability. At this stage of life, recognition often matters more than pursuit. Silence communicates self-possession. It reflects the ability to desire without losing oneself and to disengage without collapse. This is understood less as an argument and more as a felt experience. Attachment to a restrained man emerges not from absence or game, playing, but from presence without imposition. What is grounded does not require noise to assert itself, and what is rare tends to leave a lasting impression on the nervous system.